Hello, brother. Look at this. And this. And also this. And now, finally tell me, what was similar between those things? Well, in the milliseconds that I showed them to you too, you may have found that each picture has a certain feel or vibe associated with it. This one feels cozy. This one, it feels camper-ish, if that's even a feeling. And this one feels weird. Why? Well, there are a lot of reasons. And the three most common answers, or the three most widely accepted answers, would be composition, hue, and value. In this video, I'm gonna give you lessons on three of those things. So if you're like, wait, what the hell is value? Well, let me show you right now. So you saw that too, right? This Indian ink sketch. This too makes you feel something, right? It's like this impending doom in a comedic sense, right? So that was composition and value in play. And these images are hue, value, and composition together in play. And if you're like, what the hell is hue? What the hell is value? Let me teach you right in this video as we get right into the concepts app. Yeah, so what I'm actually going to do right now is I'm gonna play you a clip from the past time when I actually first recorded a video for composition. It's very filmic and I think you'll like it better than me just explaining the theory. So let's get into that. Right now, I'm gonna teach you the basics of shot composition, and it's from the filmmaker's point of view. Believe me, boys, these guys, they've got it down. And that's why I'm gonna teach you shot composition from the lens of a filmmaker. Now, look at this shot. It's empty, nothing's going on, but now we have Minion at the center, and everything's focused on him. And keeping things at the center is one way of focusing. But look, he's on a different side, and since he's fat, he's gonna attract attention to the other side. Like your eyes go from big to small. And now the lines on the floor, they're leading up to the minion, and you're able to see him. Now shapes big to small take us to the minion. Like our eyes go from shapes big to shapes small. And this is me, by the way. And we're at the same eye level. And we're kind of feeling equivalent right now. Why? Because you and I, in real life, if we met, we'd feel the same way. But if my eye level is higher than yours, in real life, you're gonna feel like a teenager compared to me, who's an adult and is 182 centimeters tall. And, well, now I look like a giant because your eye level is so low that you feel like a baby as compared to me, a proper adult. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to go and sit there. This shot kind of feels like it's lonely because you're looking from a place where you feel like you're not supposed to be there, it's dark. And I've also framed myself in so that the focus of the shot is me and you feel like you're standing there and looking at me. Do you get what I'm doing here? And yeah, that's what I want to make you feel in that one. Now, this doesn't carry a lot of meaning, but I put it in to show you that even normal shots can pass. This feels like you're standing next to me and you're observing my actions. And if I wanted to do that, I can use that shot here too. And yep, that's your mini shot composition course. So you're supposed to think of the camera as an observer in your world where the story is being held. Like, who is the observer going to be? So if this eye level shenanigans is getting to you, this explanation is for you. So you as the camera, you are sat right next to me. Like if I drew a line right from my eyes to yours, we're exactly going to line up properly and we're going to still be parallel to the floor. And what does this mean? Well, it means two things. If I took you and you walked away backwards or you came forwards to me, our eye levels are not going to change. What's going to happen is like if you went back there and you sat over there as well, our eye levels will still be the same. And if you're less taller than me, you'll descend into lesser and lesser height, and your eye level will become more closer to me as you go further behind and behind, and it becomes more and more apparent the more forward you are. So I think you're starting to get the point. And about the horizon line being low and up, like the eye level going low and up, when you're looking upwards at something, you are essentially doing something that a kid would. Because as a kid, we were not really that tall. And once we look up like that, the horizon line goes low. And what happens then is your eye level is lower. And if somebody else is way taller than you, you can actually feel that weight of the scene. And when you see more of the sky and less of the ground, that means you're looking upwards, the horizon line is lower, and vice versa. And that was about the explanation. We'll get to the next part of the video now. Now, as of the moment, we're back at the tablet. Let me actually change to concepts to actually teach you things now. And yep, let me make a new drawing. And voila, we will start from the previous one itself. It's not a big problem. So, right now you're thinking to yourself, what the hell? We were being taught composition and I'm just brought back here? Well, yes, because that was where I taught you composition. Here is where I teach you the other two things. Let me actually split screen this. And let me bring up my gallery. I have 3 pictures from which we can draw inferences from. Yay, right? Gallery. And when we go to the recents. Okay, now let's take a look at this picture. What do you feel from this picture? I'd say it looks kind of cozy. So, why is it cozy? Well, if I took this light off over here and there was nothing making the light, would it still feel cozy? No, it wouldn't. So, I'm going to tell you something. Orange that I've used right here, it's the cozy color. And if you really think about it, the other colors, such as yellow, these also feel cozy. Like, we have this association with warm and cozy because in the old times, think about fireplaces, my brother. Think about this situation where they were camping about and the fire actually saved them from animals. That got imprinted into our heads, and now we think the color of fire, which is this and this, is safe for us. Or warm implies safe. If we now take another picture that I made, this one feels kind of more unsafe. Why does it feel kind of unsafe? Because of 2 things. One thing I used in composition, I think you figure that out. I made the person feel as if they're looking down on the world and they're in a high elevated spot. This makes them feel kind of disconnected from this place, and this also makes them feel somewhat lightheaded, because this is something like a hallucination. Like, no, how would you be elevated? Are you flying, right? And that is one thing. But the second thing I've used there is the color blue. You can see a lot of blue in this and a lot of violet in here. So the violet is kind of warm, kind of cold, but it's mostly cold. Since I've used violet and blue consecutively, it kind of feels unsafe. So right now, this is one aspect of color. Certain colors feel warm and cozy, others feel cold and daisy, or just harsh on you. Like in the olden times when light wasn't there, our eyes usually default to blue as the default color. It's like the sky, it kind of felt blue to us. So we thought unsafe to go out at night, very safe to go out at day. Warm is good, cold is bad. So that's the prehistoric mindset in our heads. So that is the basics of this color theory thing. At the end of the day, in all of the images that we're making, color coldness and warmness is totally relative. Like, look at this place. This is less warmer than this. So, this place seems more safer. And by extension of that, this place looks more colder compared to this warmer color. So, this is less safe. And I think you're starting to get the point. Relative colors also play a huge role. Let me take to explaining stuff in more depth. Okay, now all of that is fine and dandy, bro, but what about all of them? They're just a waste, right? Uh, that's before we grayscale. Grayscale. Yeah, bedtime mode. Gotta turn it on now. Okay, all of that's fine, but let me take that and open in split screen view with the Concepts app. And yep, let me push it to the left so that I can draw it better. Okay, now we're looking at stuff in grayscale. And I don't really know if you're looking at stuff in grayscale. Are you? Wait, I'm pretty sure you are, so I'm gonna continue. Look at all of these images and you're gonna find more stuff in them now. So there is this area of light in this image, and there's this area of darkness that is shown to be very vast. And there is a little bit of light within darkness. The area of light feels safe to our eyes, and the area of darkness feels kind of harsh to our eyes. The same here. The forests feel a little bit unsafe, and the place he is feels a little bit safe. So now people have something to compare this guy's safety with, and that kind of helps them visualize better the current situation. And that was mostly it. Now I'm gonna show you something else too. What is color, what is hue, what is value. Now, when you turn everything off, what you see here is value. Everything that goes from black to white, that is imbued with a color, or let's just say its intensity, is what we can call value. There is another way of using intensity. It's like, no. How bright is something, how dark is something is value. Value is this place bright, that place dark, in caveman terms. And hue. What the hell is hue? Well, for hue, we're gonna have to take off grayscale. Let me take off grayscale. Where the hell did grayscale go? Let me take to the settings. And let's end bedtime mode. Because I finished sleeping a long time ago. And we looked at value and hue right now. And all of that's fine, bro. You say to me, but can you actually teach me what hue is? Yeah, I'm coming to that. What is hue? What really is hue? What really is value? So, hue and value can be very independent of each other. It's like a material property, both of these. So, you know how if you flash light at a leaf, and if you flash light on a black guy's arm, sorry, didn't get a better example. Really sorry. Let's just take black and let's put it over here. The reaction will be very different, right? Like this will be more light. Like let's just say the light source is coming from there. You'll see a few lines over here, but that's mostly what you will see with the leaf. But for the black guy's arm, the light doesn't really do much. So there's a certain level of absorbingness that each object has that kind of prevents it or allows it to get the light. Like leaves have it in a different level than something different. So this is how the leaf will look, and this is how this will look. Let's turn on grayscale again, and you'll see how value plays into this. Okay, now this looks a different way than this black guy's hand, right? Okay, now that is one example, and each material has its own separate value. What about hue? Well, as I showed you, it also has its own separate hue, because is green and black the same thing? Absolutely not. But if two things have different values, can they have different no, if two things have the same value, can they still have different hues? Of course they can. So these two things, they are kind of independent of each other. It's like how much does this absorb light is value, how much colorful or what color is it is hue. And yep, warmer colors do one thing and the non-warm colors do another thing. So that is some basic design sense for you. And let me show you some more things. This is color theory that I'm about to show you. Let's change to grayscale yet again. Okay, concepts is opening up and then we'll be back. So thus far, what I've showed you is some basic stuff. So there's a lot more to learn about hue, and I'm gonna teach that to you right now. So when I said color is made up of hue and value, I kind of lied. There is one thing more. Saturation. Saturation is how intense a color is. Let's just say it's also like a mixing of color and hue and value. These two together also make up saturation, so let me not talk about that separately. Let me teach you hue right now. Let me teach you some basic color theory. So you know how colors are arranged in a palette, like that is red and that is green and that is blue, and all of these three things, they combine together to form the other colors, right? So what do we think when we look at different colors? The first thing is, it's like if something is close to something else, they look like they are similar and they feel kind of harmonic. Let me just say I'll take this color and this color. They feel like they fit in one puzzle, right? And let me take like red and let me put it against an opposing color of its. This is a HSL, RGB. It would be better if we had a color wheel actually. Let me take this and this color. Do they match? Wait, that's not the equivalent of this. No, they contrast each other. So what happens is, opposites on this wheel that we make from R and G and B, and stuff that are opposite to each other contrast each other. Stuff that are closer to each other, they kind of display some sort of how do I explain it? Something like similarity between each other. Similarity. So opposites are contrasting. Similars, like stuff that are close to each other, they are more harmonic. And this is the basis on which all of color theory works. And that is basically what I wanted to say with this. And there are certain things certain colors represent. You can be inspired from nature. Like green, people have a strong association of green with leaves and other things. And you can play with associations when you want to use colors. And that is just one aspect of all of the stuff that I have to teach you. But this is contrast, this is harmonic. You're starting to get the picture, right? Let me teach you more. Now say I want to take three colors and they contrast each other. Say I take blue, say I take red, a version of red that is. say I take green, a version of green that is. These three also feel less contrasty but kind of harmonic as well. So it's like a mixture of both. And you can do that with four colors. It's essentially an interplay between harmonicness and contrasts, and that is how color theory works as a whole. And we can see that being implemented everywhere when we make illustrations. Like, take this piece for example. So the only blue thing in this space is him. So he contrasts the entirety of the environment, and therefore he gets a lot of personal attention to himself. And that is one way of making stuff work. And here too, we have used the same thing. All of the colors in the scene are kind of bluish. Green, if you didn't know, is kind of bluish and yellowish. So there is a yellower side of green that you can use to harmonize with your warm colors, and there's a bluer side of green that you can use to harmonize with your non-blue colors. Let's just say, no, with your blue colors. And what I have used here is a bluer version of green, and the only warm color here is this campfire that you can see here. And this kind of contrasts the entire environment, and this too does that, this tent over here. And so these things bring attention to the front part of this image. And yeah, that was some illustrations of me using color theory. Over here too I have used it. See, warm colors, less warm colors, kind of warm colors, more cool colors. So it's like cool colors in the background contrast the stuff at the front. It's all like an interplay of contrast. I think you're starting to get this pattern. You don't have to memorize triadic, analogous, blah, 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 bullshit. It's just basically based on harmony and lack thereof. So I told you that I would teach you how to compose with these things, and I'm going to take to doing that right now. So now imagine this space with A as a box. Now imagine half of it, or more than half of it, was filled with black. You'll naturally gravitate towards looking towards the light because your eyes goes from the big side to the small side, fat things to not fat things, as I said earlier. And what happens as a result of that is your attention gets diverted to one side. And yep, you can use value this way too. Let's just say there's like this mini market here. And let me just say there are many houses here, or there are different markets here. You can make people look towards the light by adding in a lot of darkness in one area, and you can do the opposite thing too. Like, let's just say this place is lit, but there is this one dark area. Let's just say there's like a dustbin here, and there is a bunch of rubbish here, and there's like this kid standing on top of the dustbin. Now let me make this place look a little bit more darker. Your attention went here, see? And that is how you compose an image. That is how you use color in your images. And it's just an interplay between contrast and harmony. And if you understand it, you'll be able to make very better designs. You can understand hue right now, right? And you know how bright and dark places contrast each other and so on and so forth. So we learned all of that in this video. If you want to learn more, watch the Art Fundamentals playlist that's being put on screen as of the moment. I'm pretty sure you will learn a lot from that. And yeah, that was it for this video. You have developed design sense, composition, and you are pretty strong with the fundamentals of sketching right now, with color and without color. That's it for this video. Bye.